Well, my wife and I were looking for a dentist closer to us. We'd had a relationship with a dentist for a long time, but he was way over in Norcross. And we liked him just fine. Just the trip became, difficult as traffic in Atlanta gets worse and worse. And so Johnny being in the business, we said we need a good dentist. I have plenty of problems. I've got a family history of bad gums and not so great teeth, and so needed somebody that could take good care of me, but also somebody nearby. So we just live a couple minutes up the street, and so it's easy to get here. My office is in Alpharetta, so you were a perfect choice, and you came highly recommended. So, I think some of the difficulties of dentistry is finding somebody that can do some of those things where you don't have to go to 3 different people for 4 different appointments, and that you were able to accommodate all of it in one stop with your sort of level of attention, which is something we really appreciate. That your follow-up and always willing to reach out after the procedure, how are things going, has been great, and that's really made a lot of difference. I've had a couple hygienists over the years. They've both been fantastic, and it's always a good experience. They're always really friendly, and it's always great to see you when you come in for the checkup part. And I think everything's thorough. We stay on the right schedule for whether we need X-rays or the exam or just the cleaning. Now, your staff has been terrific. I unfortunately am one who am often late, so you guys are very, very nice. They're good at following up and making sure that I'm on my way. But I really appreciate their friendliness when you come in. They're always there to get you checked in right away, and they're also a very friendly group. Now the whole office, it's just you've got a great culture as far as that goes, and follow-up's easy, and there's somebody answers the phone, right? You're not just getting a recording and press a number and we'll get back to you. Somebody always answers the phone. So that's another nice part. I had a tooth that had the implant started as a tooth that, if I remember, it was a tooth that had gotten a little infected. The bone underneath the gum had broken, which I didn't even know that could break down there. And going through that whole process, going over to the periodontist who usually does root canals to see first, and coming back. No, the whole process and procedure was great, cooperating between the two, and then the right aligning on the right course of treatment, and then again being able to do it here rather than going to an oral surgeon was a big bonus. So. The level of work that you've done in the past and the success of the work you've done in the past is what made me comfortable with you doing a procedure that's maybe, I don't know, technically more involved, right, than others, or at least, the what normally would go to an oral surgeon is the fact that my confidence in your skill set is what, when you said I can do this, that I was like, yes, then absolutely, let's do it. That's made me comfortable in choosing you for that procedure. I know how, having practiced law in the healthcare sector, I know what it means to fill time slots. But your team is always accommodating if I have to reschedule. They're good at following up about the appointments and confirming. But I think that's another thing that's super nice about your team is that when you do have to reschedule, they're very accommodating and working with you. And some offices have really clamped down on that, and I try to be respectful because I know your time is your money. But and if you can't fill that slot, then that's time that goes unfilled. But your team is great in working with me when my schedule gets busy as well. So that's been really helpful. And working me in when you needed, like just 2 weeks ago, and I needed when the crown broke and we were going to be, it was going to be a couple days. It was right before a weekend. And so it was either, slot me in right at the last second, or I'd have to wait till over the weekend. And you and your team stayed behind on a Friday afternoon to fit me in and get that temporary put on so I could be in a lot more comfort and better situation, which was also greatly appreciated. Well, with us, remember too, it's a family affair. You've got the whole family. My boys and my wife are also are also patients of yours. And I think I can speak for them in saying everybody's been really pleased with the relationship and the work and the care they've all received. So.